this weekend we had really huge news in from Royal Caribbean, so it's very important that we talk about that together so we know what's going on and talk about what Royal Caribbean needs to do next. We're also going to talk about the 2028 solar eclipse. We've got Celebrity releasing some of their 2027, 2028 itineraries, what is going to be coming a little bit later this year from Celebrity. We also need to be going over several things. You know what? There was an event that has never been canceled in its 75-year history until Monday night. Lots to talk about, so let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Wednesday. It is August 6th of 2025. And as always, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please be sure to click on that subscribe button. And if you appreciate my updates, please give this video a thumbs up. We'd love to have you here with us every day to talk about cruising, traveling to cruise, and I hope you'll be able to come with us. On Friday, we are flying over to the United Kingdom. We'll be going on our next cruise next week, and we'd love to have you come along with us. So let's start at the very top here talking about the eclipse in 2028. If you are not aware of this, we have got a solar eclipse in 2028, and it is going to mostly be across New Zealand and Australia is where you're going to get the most of the totality of that solar eclipse. So here's my question for you. If you want to see that on a ship, how much are you willing to pay to do that? Really interesting question, and I don't have a ship for that. Don't know that I could even get a ship, but it is really begs an interesting question because it happens at a time of year that a lot of ships are not down in the Australia region. There are some though, but let me know what you think about the whole thing. If you would even be interested in that. Mulling a lot of things over in my mind. You know that I'm really excited for the 2027 solar eclipse, so it's just fun to think about all of the things that we can do and to really look forward to. It's really cool to be able to see a solar eclipse. So let's move along here. We need to talk about what is going on with Celebrity. So Celebrity, yesterday on August 5th, they announced some of their 2027, 2028 itineraries, and it's unbelievable. Here we are in 2025. Before you know it, we're already more than halfway through 25. 2026 is next year. Before we know it, it'll be 2026, and 2027 will be next year. But here they are announcing 2028 cruises already. So they have announced the itineraries for Japan, Canada, and New England, as well as Europe. So those were announced yesterday. Coming up soon on September 9th, Celebrity will be releasing their Alaska and Hawaii itineraries, but I have a little bit of information for you on the Alaska ones. And then finally, September 30th is when the itineraries are going to be available to book for Australia for that time frame. So a lot to look forward to. So some of the highlights of what Celebrity is doing right now with these itineraries that they have just released, a few things you need to know. So first up, the Celebrity Excel, the Celebrity Ascent, and the Celebrity Apex. 3 ships are going to be sailing in Europe. Celebrity really wants to focus on having more overnights, so they're going to have at least 60 overnights and a lot more longer stays in ports there in Europe. And so if that's something you're looking forward to when you go to Europe on a cruise, how long your port stay is, make sure that you compare those between different itineraries to get really the places that you want to visit and how long you want to be there. It's really interesting to me as I look at different itineraries, I compare how long they're in port and exactly which ports it is that you're going to be visiting, how hard it is to get from those ports to visit the things that are so popular that a lot of people are looking forward to doing. So a lot to think about when you choose what cruise you're going to go on. But I thought it was really exciting. They're going to be doing that. And so the Excel is going to do East and Western Mediterranean. Okay, they'll be doing that. The Millennium, though, this is so exciting. The Celebrity Millennium is going to be home porting in Tokyo's Narita port. They're going to have overnight stays in Tokyo, in Kyoto for Osaka, Kobe, and Oman, and they're going to be there during a lot of time with different festivals going on. The Celebrity Edge is going to stay in Alaska for another season, and they're going to add 2 more ships to their lineup there in Alaska. They'll be adding the Solstice and the Summit, so they'll have 3 ships in Alaska. And then finally, the coolest thing out of all of this, the Celebrity Infinity is going to stay in Europe year-round. Now, Celebrity does have a ship that is in Europe year-round right now. I love that they do that. As someone who has sailed in Europe an awful lot, sailed that Mediterranean and that whole region several times, there's a lot to think about when you consider what time of year you want to go somewhere. But it's really nice that that option is out there if that's the only time you can go or what you're really looking for. I think it's great that they have got a ship there year-round. Let's talk for just a minute about what is going on with Royal Caribbean. And to me, this is really, really big. So Sunday, there on CocoCay, there were 2 ships in port, Utopia of the Seas and Jewel of the Seas. 2 ships in port, and Oasis Lagoon, huge pool there. A brawl broke out, if you can believe it or not. People who were eyewitnesses said that fists were flying, so in other words, they were hitting each other. Angry words, people were splashing, people were yelling, using profanity, pushing, shoving, and not being nice to each other. When it was all over, apparently there was hair and blood in the pool. And so they ended up having to close the pool. Now, has Royal Caribbean issued a statement on this yet? They have not. I don't know if they're going to. It was just this last May that they had another problem with another brawl there on CocoCay. So here are some things that I think we should really be thinking about, because, you know, when you hear about a brawl happening on a cruise ship, what cruise line comes to your mind first? Always Carnival. And it's not a way of dissing Carnival, but they're the cruise line that have had so much trouble with it, right? So that is automatically what we think. But for these problems to start being arising on Royal Caribbean, I think is really problematic because for a lot of reasons. You know what? You're on vacation. What are you doing with fighting with other people? A long time ago, I remember when I was little, my mother saying, you know, sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words will never hurt me. You know what? You have to ignore a lot of what people say. And it seems like a lot of people too easily get upset with each other. And so as I consider this situation with Royal Caribbean, tell me what you think they need to do in the comments to dissuade this kind of behavior in the future, because they surely don't want this to happen more and more often. I think one thing that needs to happen is they probably do need to step up their security presence. I don't know if they need more security, number of crew members doing security on the private island, but I feel like they definitely need to be more visible everywhere to kind of dissuade people from doing things that they really shouldn't do. And if they don't have enough security to be able to do that, they probably need to add it. The other thing that I think is so important is they need to track down the people, and I think they probably know the people who were involved in this, and they need to have really stiff penalties for it, like no longer being able to sail on Royal Caribbean. It has to be something that is enough to make people not want to do that kind of behavior. If they feel like hitting someone, they have to think to themselves, do I really want to not be able to sail on this cruise line anymore? So that's my 2 cents. Let me know what you think. But I really was really sad to hear that and rather upset about it, because you know what? Sometimes even innocent people get pulled in or harmed when these kind of things happen. So it's the last thing that we want to be happening when we're on a cruise. So like I said, please do comment in the comments there and let me know what you think. Okay, so a couple of things. First up, when we go on our cruise starting August 13th, the day the Royal Princess sails from Southampton, we are taking this cruise to see Scotland, Ireland, and a little bit of England. But really the highlight of the trip is going to be when we port there in Glasgow, and we have signed up for the excursion to take us over to see the military tattoo there at Edinburgh Castle. If you have never seen that, just search it on YouTube. A lot of videos are going to come up. It's remarkable what a special performance this whole and really a special experience the whole thing is. Well, this is the 75th anniversary of it this year in 2025, and for the very first time they had to cancel the performance due to weather on Monday night on August 4th. The Regal Princess was able to come in even in spite of the winds, and all of this was due to Storm Flores. She was still able to come into the port there in Glasgow, but it is like an hour and a half, 2-hour bus ride to get from Glasgow over to Edinburgh, where the military tattoo takes place. So clearly the situation was worse there in Edinburgh. So I really hope that we get to do it. My heart is with the people who were on the Regal Princess and they didn't get to go to that military tattoo. That would be really hard. It would make you sad. And, you know, some people can come back again and sometimes people can't come back. And so, anyway, I just wanted to let you know that that's what's going on, and really just kind of as a way to let you know that sometimes we can travel a really long distance and pay a lot of money for an event that in the end doesn't work out. And that is kind of sad. You know, you still have to be so grateful for where you get to go, what you do get to see, and the people that you do get to meet. It's just a little bit disappointing when some things don't go as planned. So I wanted to let you know about that. I want to hear from you all. How many of you are still having glitches with your app? Today I had the pleasure of talking with someone and they have a cruise on their app that they didn't book. The interesting thing is like she deleted the app, reinstalled it, and that cruise showed up again. It also shows up in her husband's app. Same booking number, same cruise, but if you go to look, you know, to manage your bookings there on princess.com, the cruise is not there. So tell me what kind of glitches you're seeing. The reason that I think it's really helpful to share that information is then we all kind of know what's going on, and we know not to be upset that we're not the only one when these things happen. Okay, hopefully they're working on it. Hopefully things will get better when they have another update. They'll fix some glitches and things will get better. But I wanted to let you know about that glitch. Let me know if you're having that glitch or another glitch. Okay. Finally, you know what? I wanted to make something a little bit fun around here. We've had a lot of serious things to talk about today. And, you know, sometimes in the past, I have asked you what it is that you do right when you get on a ship. Some of you say you go get some lunch. Some of you say you go sit by the pool and order a drink. Some of you like to go sit down on the piazza and order a drink. So we've established that that is a lot of what people like to do. And if those aren't on your list of what you like to do, tell us in the comments what you like. But you know what? What do you do after that? What do you look forward to doing after you do that? A lot of times we get on the ship and the cabins aren't ready until 1 o'clock. And so that gives us a little bit of time to wait. But then once you can access your cabin so that you can change your clothes and go to the pool if you want to, or you can do, well, you can still go to the pool, you know, in regular clothes, but to like to go swimming if you want to. But what is it that you really look forward to and that you do next when you get on board a ship? Thought that would be really fun for us to talk over. Thanks for joining me today. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. Y'all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.